The key turned in the lock, a soft metallic clink resonating to the quiet evening air. That small sound, barely noticeable, sent a shiver of unease coursing through me, tightening my chest with a familiar ache. For months, a creeping sense of foreboding had grown, a heavy weight pressing against my heart. From inside the house, the sound of laughter floated out, bright, unburdened, and starkly at odds with the storm of emotions swirling within me. It was Lisa's voice, carefree and vibrant, a painful reminder of the love that had once bound us. 8 months had passed. 8 long months of growing distance, of late nights she claimed were spent at work, of hushed conversations behind closed doors. 8 months of watching our bond erode, splintering silently, each crack a quiet wound in my soul. As I stepped inside, Lisa appeared in the hallway. Her laughter halted abruptly. Her eyes, once a source of comfort and joy, widened in shock, the color draining from her face. Her hand rose to her mouth, muffling a sharp intake of breath. That look, raw, unguarded, frozen in time, was the moment I'd been bracing for, the culmination of weeks of anguish and suspicion. Everything had led to this confrontation, this inevitable reckoning. In the bedroom, the evidence of my painstaking investigation was meticulously laid out, each item a testament to her deception. It wasn't just the digital traces, though I had those too. Screenshots of messages and emails carefully printed, some even mounted like artifacts of betrayal. I had dug deeper, unearthing truths she thought were safely hidden. There was a silk scarf she insisted she'd lost, found folded neatly in the passenger seat of her colleague Mark's car, a receipt from a charming seaside in where she claimed to have been visiting her sick cousin. And at the heart of it all, an enlarged photograph of Lisa and Mark caught in a tender embrace outside a dimly lit cafe. Their faces were shadowed, but the intimacy of their posture was unmistakable, a gut-wrenching blow that stole my breath. Lisa stumbled backward. Her expression one of stark horror. I stood rooted to the spot, my voice deceptively steady despite the tempest raging inside. "Explain," I said, my words soft but heavy with intent. "How you dismantled our life, lie by lie, while greeting me with a smile each day." Her lips parted, but no sound emerged. She looked cornered, her gaze flickering, desperately searching for a way out that didn't exist. This was the scene I had replayed in my mind endlessly. The deceiver confronted with the undeniable truth she believed she'd concealed. "Where is he, Lisa?" I pressed, my tone sharpening, honed by months of suppressed pain. "I spoke to his fiancée today." "Odd, isn't it? Mark took a personal day. Lies tend to unravel, don't they?" She recoiled, tears brimming in her eyes, raw and unfiltered. Her carefully constructed facade crumbled, but I didn't relent. "He's not at the firm," I added, my voice laced with bitterness. She had no inkling I'd reached out to Mark's fiancée. Once I discovered he was engaged. The pieces of their deceit fell into place. A sordid puzzle completed. Infidelity, it seemed, thrived in shadows. I pulled out my phone and dialed Mark's number. When he answered, my voice was icy, unyielding. "You need to come to the house. There's something you should see." He arrived shortly after, his confident smirk vanishing as he took in the scene. Lisa trembling, the bed strewn with damning evidence, the wreckage of their shared lies exposed. She looked ghostly, her vibrancy drained. What followed was not a conversation, but a maelstrom. Words became weapons, accusations flew like shards of glass, and tears fell in torrents. The intricate web they had woven tore apart in a chaotic, brutal unraveling. It was raw, painful, and utterly essential. Then came the silence, thick and oppressive, blanketing the devastation. Lisa's voice, barely a whisper, broke through. "James, please." But the man she once knew, the one who loved her unconditionally, had been eroded by her betrayals, worn down by every half-truth, every deflected question, every furtive glance at her phone. I was a shadow of that man, with nothing left to offer. I said, "The divorce will be complicated. I need you to leave." Time marched forward. I sold a house, a place that had once held laughter and love, but now echoed with loss. I moved to a new city, seeking a fresh start, a blank canvas. The raw edge of my pain dulled, and the memories of those dark days began to blur like photographs left too long in the sun. Anger faded, giving way to a hard-earned calm. I stopped seeing her ghost in every corner, stopped bracing for the next betrayal. Mark and Lisa's affair collapsed under the strain of guilt and recrimination, a predictable end I learned of through mutual acquaintances. Their downfall brought me no joy, only a weary sense of closure. I had already endured the worst. Their fate was no longer my burden. Years later, I sat in a small, warmly lit cafe, engrossed in a novel. Life had become gentler, more predictable, a quiet rhythm I cherished. Then I heard it, a laugh, achingly familiar but softened by time, less vibrant than I remembered. I glanced up. Lisa stood across the room, her face marked by the years, faint lines tracing paths where none had been before. Her eyes held a quiet sorrow, a weight she carried alone. Our eyes met, and for a brief moment, the past roared back. The bedroom, the scattered proof, the photograph that shattered everything. Then she looked away, a glimmer of regret in her expression. I closed my book, a faint smile tugging at my lips, not of triumph, but of resolution. The fury that once consumed me had dissipated, replaced by something deeper, tranquility. I had survived the storm. I had rebuilt my life piece by piece. That, I realized, was the truest victory. I stepped outside, the sunlight warm on my face, and left the shadows of the past behind.